can also open it if that is convenient for you. Okay, assumptions. So this assumptions you can bring it down. Okay, just follow the format.
Okay.
Assumptions you can bring it down somewhere when you show the project proposal.
Okay.
Here you can bring it down. Executive summary, don't start with the solution. Just describe the problem first. Write something about, you can say no shows are causing revenue loss to physicians or something like that. Right? Something like this.
Okay. Sure, causing revenue loss of physician.
Yeah. Okay, I'll also give you another document where I think we have written it. Okay, this is okay. Okay, this you picked up from the net, which is good.
I picked up the percentage. I wanted to ask you if that's how it's done. So I saw that 18% on an average is the show up. So according to the assumptions you gave, like 30 patients comes per day. So I just did the 18% of that, and then I calculated these
Yeah,
costs.
yeah, that's
Is
fine.
that
That's
the
fine.
way it's actually
Yeah,
done?
yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. That's fine. Or if you want to very realistic calculation, you can see in 1 hour a doctor can see about say 3 patients. Okay, in a
Okay.
day you can see 24 patients at most. Okay,
Okay.
on the lower side.
Right.
On the higher side, 30 is a good number. Between
Okay.
24 and
Got
30,
it.
you can use any number. Okay.
Okay.
So maybe average
Right.
of 24 and 30, 27 patients. If you calculate also, it's fine. That's okay. We don't want
Okay.
to go exact on that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Several reasons not showing up. Some of them. Okay. Yes. Last minute financial crisis as well as um, um, uh, other reasons you can show, like some of the you can list some of the reasons here, right?
Okay.
Typically, they have the following reason. I think I'll show you one slide. Hold on a second. Anyway, we'll be talking about healthcare domain at some point. I'll show you top 5 reasons why. I think we can add all of them there. Yeah, see.
Okay.
So you covered one point, no funds to pay. Um, you can add these also.
Okay. So we can write all like whatever the reasons could
Yeah,
be,
whatever reasons.
whichever reasons are possible.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then for using your software, what are the things you are trying to address?
Okay.
So you
Got it.
can,
That's what I was confused. Okay. Okay.
okay, you can write all of these. So just copy this.
So write all problems
Yeah,
and give solution of one.
yeah. What your software is going to address? Okay.
Right. Okay.
So I made the changes here. You can edit them later. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Book reschedule. Okay. This will help. Okay. Good. By replying with for confirmation. Yes. And also you can talk about, yeah, reminders. Okay, you talked about that. Good. This the rest of it is good. I don't know
Solution is good.
yeah, this is
Solution.
good. Yeah, it's good. I don't
That's
know
good.
why
Thank you.
I didn't know why you were not confident.
I took 2 days because first day I just started thinking what to do, where to start with. I completed that yesterday, but I didn't able to send it to you. But
No,
then
no
I was
problem.
I
No, no,
was
you
not
take
sure
time.
if it's
Yeah, you
yeah.
take time, it's good. Okay, good, good. Yeah, this is good. Just reword some of it and give some intro. That's fine. Okay.
And I just want to ask you one thing regarding cost benefit analysis. Can you? Oh, sorry. I'll open mine.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
just confused.
Like cost benefit analysis is what is the benefit? So proposed
Right.
solution, outsource development, 7,500. This will help. You can write here. This will help uh, reduce no shows. This is expected to help. Okay, to reduce
Okay.
no shows. Okay, so no solution development, number of no show will not reduce and revenue cannot be increased. Yes. Okay, this you can put it there.
Okay.
This is the cost benefit analysis, right?
So I was like in according to me, like my general opinion,
Then you can
analysis
say,
can be
yeah,
done if
yes.
there are two options, right? But here we are just giving them one option. So still we have to write something. That's
Okay, no,
what.
no, here you can say, you have to say some more. Okay, that's where you have to say, oh, a proposed solution, you can say option one, okay, develop. Here you can't develop because doctor will not have IT team. So you can say
Right.
buy a solution uh, from the market.
Okay.
Buy a solution. So put the cost here from the market.
Okay.
You can say this will cost. Yeah, this will definitely be. Assuming we want to show this will be the cost of the software will be dollar 10,000 plus annual maintenance of 15%. Okay. Option two,
Okay.
outsource development. Okay.
Okay.
So then considering the okay. So no solution you can serve. Then here you can say a software solution is expected to help reduce no shows. Here you can say considering the okay, this is buy, this is make. Okay.
Okay.
Considering the cost and benefit of both the options. Option two, which is outsource development, provides better benefits, something like that. Okay,
Okay.
benefits, and it is recommended. Then you can say recommendations, right? It will lead to
Okay.
recommendation.
Yeah. Right.
Got it?
Yeah.
Plus, you can say implementation costs. Cost 20%, something like that.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
And in budget, do we need to write in detail, like when it says total budget? I just wrote
No,
it here. So it
no,
goes in
no,
assumptions?
no. I told you right. Yes, assumptions and
Okay.
what they will do is normally. Hold on a second. Very last. Okay. What they will do normally is when you propose the budget. I told you this is high level. Okay,
Right.
for somebody to
Okay.
approve.
Yeah.
So once they have approved, they will ask you to give you a detailed budget calculation. Then you can provide details.
Oh, okay.
This can be this can be estimates. You don't need to do break your head giving the details. You will not have time.
Okay.
You will not have time also
Right. Okay.
because I told you right. They will expect you to turn it around in one day.
Okay. So I took long for this one too. And also for this
Yeah, initially
calculation.
I told you this is fine. Initially it is fine.
Right.
But over a period of time, I'm
Right.
saying when you are settled down in your job, there will be multiple
Right.
proposals they may ask you to do like this.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, next one is your stakeholder analysis. So, any other question you have before I?
No. No.
So you know how
Thank
to, you get some idea about a business case now.
you. Right. Yep.
Now let's look at the other one, the stakeholder analysis. So you have done it for the same project, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Patience high, okay. Necessary, not using.
No.
Okay, now influence on the project is high. What is important is here you can say something rather than website. You can say something more. Hold on.
Okay.
That's fine. Friendly user website is fine, but more important for them is uh, schedule appointments quickly, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And get reminded. Friendly can also be there. Okay. I'm not saying it's not
Okay.
right, but more important for them is this.
Right.
Necessary, yes, by not using it, yes. By not using it, yes. Offer discounts in medical. By not using it, then again, still uh, not improving, no shows. That's also right.
Yes. Okay.
Or still not showing up for the time of appointment. Offer discounts for the medical who never do no show up. Oh, okay. You want to propose that? Okay. Who or we can also say or use the appointment system or for patients who use the appointment system frequently. Okay,
Okay.
that's also possible, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because see, by giving you a web system, they're not going to throw away their phones or anything. Phones will still be there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Physicians, high revenue, yes, necessary, may not like the software, do not want to continue, yes, may not like the software, may feel, they also may feel additional work, right? See, for a physician,
Okay. Yeah.
the problem is he wants to use the time,
See the patients.
yes,
Mm.
so he wants to see maximum patients and he wants to use his time effectively to treat patients, that is his job.
Right.
Right? So if you are going to give him
Yep.
something like this, it may add an additional load.
Right. Okay.
Okay, meetings encourage. So software usage, train them. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
IT employees.
It's not IT
Okay.
employees. If we are
Okay. Now
outsourcing,
one more thing
then
here. Train them. One more thing
yes.
here is peer statistics.
Okay.
See, one of the things with physicians is they always look at their peers, which means other physicians.
Okay.
So I'm currently working on a healthcare project. I told you, right? So
Okay.
one of the things that is happening is doctors feel very comfortable if you talk, because I also have this problem. We are selling software to doctors,
Okay.
and doctors. One of the difficulties that they express in using the software say, "Oh, your software requires a lot of data entry, data capture. How do I want to optimize because I'm going to be on with the patient." So,
Right.
so we tell them, okay, we give them peer statistics in the sense your fellow doctors in your area, so many doctors are using it, they are successful. If you give those numbers, they feel a little encouraged, motivated.
Oh, yeah. Right.
The other thing is they also have, every state has doctor associations, okay,
Okay.
where they go and meet very often, at least a month. Once in a month, they meet and discuss uh, about healthcare and government and all of those stuff. There, they also discuss what software people are using, what is that they can recommend. So, a doctor may be feeling proud or saying, okay, I use this software, I got a lot of revenue, right?
Right.
Because one of the in the project that I'm working on, one of the key elements is it gives additional revenue to doctors.
Okay.
So we talk about that a lot.
Okay.
Okay, this IT employees what? We said
Oh,
something.
I just wanted to say we are outsourcing, right?
Yeah, so
So
you can say
it's IT employees.
outsourced IT employee, you can say.
Okay.
Outsourced company employees, right? Okay, now one problem is you always have all the highs. Are there any other people whom you have medium and low for this?
I only have staff. I was confused. I don't know how much is it right or not. So staff, like who's going to use it?
Yeah, physician
So
staff.
in fact,
So you can
yeah, physician.
physician office staff. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I meant the reception, like people who take the phone calls. There
Yeah,
is
they will
always
all
one
use. Yeah,
reception.
yeah. They will be. Uh, say their influence could be medium. Okay, because they are also users. Um, Here also you can
And
have.
there,
So they can also say I'm not willing to use. So the same thing as physician, they can come here.
okay.
You can put this. Because what will happen is the physician may ask the see, so I would rather say in an ideal situation this will be high and physician will be medium, because the staff are the ones who are going to use it.
Okay.
Physician
Right. I
may
got
use it
confused.
less. Okay, so
Right.
we can put this medium here. Here you can say incentive to staff for using it.
Okay.
No, training to staff, you can say training, meetings and training. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you should consider what is, who could be low.
Nobody else came in my mind other than like there are these other staff members are there, but other
Maybe
than
billing.
them,
You have billing. Billing staff may not require this. Okay.
yes. Okay.
Low.
Oh, and dispensary. Yeah, they will also not need it, right?
Yeah. Pharmacy is not
Dispensary,
required. Pharmacy.
pharmacy. Yeah.
Okay. Clinical staff. Okay, like nurses. Okay,
Yeah.
so they are like low. Uh, can say unnecessary here, right? Any of these you can use.
Yeah. Right.
May use it if may use it to mainly request of a staff for yeah, these are all not necessary. Okay, fine. At least I have a balanced.
Right.
Okay, so good. Now
Okay.
let's move on. I'll send you these updated ones. You can edit them and keep it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Now next one will be our next topic rather will be on models, software development life cycle. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
generally, if you see software development life cycle has four phases. Can you tell me what are they?
STLC. It will be. It has been long. First BA are
Yeah,
involved,
yeah, that is
and
called. What is
then
that called?
I think it was
It's called.
requirement system,
Yeah, yeah, requirements. Yes.
functional requirement system, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, just say requirements. That's it.
Okay.
Requirements is the first phase. What is the next phase?
And then it was designing the software
Yes.
architecture.
Yeah, just say design, no architecture. Okay, design. Next.
Okay. And so before coding, there was one more.
No, it's fine.
That was also
Yeah,
that's fine. Okay.
design is
Then
fine.
then coding. Development team
Yeah,
starts coding,
yeah,
and then testing.
yeah. Those are the four phases. Okay. Now, these four phases. Remember this. Okay. Whenever somebody asks you, this is what you should answer: requirement design, development, testing.
Okay.
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 Now, when see in the IT industry, every company has some kind of a model on how to approach these phases. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So we have to learn what kind of model. Next question for you as a BA is once you have identified the stakeholders, for
Right.
you have to consult your stakeholders and decide on the model for or
Okay.
approach. How will we approach this project? You have the business case, it has got approved, you identify the stakeholders, you are at this stage now where you want to start your project. Your kickoff meeting is done, and
Okay.
you have identified the stakeholders, you have broken ice with them, you told them I'm going to start requirements. Now you should tell them.
Right.
Now the questions from all your stakeholders will be what model are we going to follow?
Okay.
Now for that you should have an understanding of models. Okay.
Okay.
The most common model is called waterfall.
Right. We read about it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just touch upon that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason it is called waterfall is because it resembles, if you see the face, it resembles a waterfall.
Right.
Okay, like you have a cascading effect. So why it is called waterfall is before. So there are all the four phases.
One
So
thing is that.
there are five
Yeah.
phases shown here, but ignore the maintenance because maintenance is ideally not part of SDLC. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's consider the fourth one. Requirement design, implementation is your development, and verification is your testing. Now here,
Okay.
the reason it is called waterfall, just like a waterfall cascades from a cliff to ground, the same way this model works. You
Right.
start off with requirements. Okay, only when you complete your requirements, you start design.
Then you start design. Yeah.
Only when you complete design, you start implementation, and only when you
Right.
complete implementation, you'll start testing. Okay, that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we have to see what is the drawback of this model.
Okay.
Somewhat. What is the drawback? Because it is called linear. It is linear and sequential. We saw that, right? Linear
Right.
means
Yeah.
one after another.
One by one.
Right. Yeah. And sequential, right? And
Yeah.
here the merits, the advantages is it works very well for smaller projects where requirements are very well understood. Okay, you know the requirements for a project. It is a small project of say 1 or 2 months. You can use waterfall, no issues.
Right.
Okay, and
Yeah.
the other advantage is it's one at a time and there is no overlap, so it is convenient for you.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
but the disadvantages are more. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you get into testing, you cannot go back to you requirements and make changes. Very difficult
Right.
because there will be changes. When you test, there will be changes. People will ask you to change quickly.
Right.
You cannot tell them, okay, I have used waterfall. It is going to take time. That's not acceptable. So that's a disadvantage. No working software
Right.
is produced because until you complete testing, you cannot show a working version of software to your customers.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
you cannot show any intermediate version, you cannot show any work in progress version. Okay? That is a
Yes.
disadvantage. Then high
Yeah.
amount of risk and uncertainty. So in waterfall model, there is no guarantee your software will be successful. Okay?
Right.
Because it is taking a long time. There are failures, sometimes you have to go and rework the entire thing. Okay? It is
Yeah.
not a good model for complex and object-oriented projects. Okay, if a project is complex, or if the project is using object-oriented technology like Java. Okay,
Right.
if the developers are using Java programming language, this is not a good model. Okay,
Oh, okay. Okay.
Java or PHP, anything. Okay, this is good only for legacy. Okay, it was very good 20 years ago, not any longer. Okay.
Okay. So why for Java it is like Java projects is not good
Because
in general?
in general, Java or any language like object oriented language, they are all
Okay.
event driven. Okay, they are not sequential. It is never a programming language is sequential so if you have heard about a language called COBOL, which was used about
Right.
20 years ago. Okay, not even 20,
Right.
even 30 years ago it was used. Those kind of
Okay.
languages are sequential in nature.
Okay.
You do one after another. Whereas
Right.
if that is the case, waterfall works. Whereas in the Java
Okay.
and all, it's event driven. See, when you do a web application, there is
Right.
there is nothing like a step, right? You can click anywhere.
Okay.
Don't you?
I'm not
Anywhere.
familiar with that, but okay. So
You
so
know,
that
go
is
to
something
the
which is not done step by step.
no,
It
no.
is something which needs.
Yes. Take the example. Let me give you from user perspective. Okay. Take the example of
Okay.
a website for a bank. You worked in a bank, right?
Right. Yeah.
So your bank would have had a website.
Right. Yeah.
So in the website or for online banking, you can go and use any option, right? There is no step by step. Once you log in, you can use any of the features. Nobody tells you, okay,
Right.
first you have to look at your statement, then only you can draw cash. No way, right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
can do anything
Yeah.
anytime. That is object
Yes.
oriented.
Okay.
So it is event
Okay. Got
driven.
it.
So you create events. You can do any event anytime.
Right. Okay.
Whereas in languages like COBOL, there are steps which you have to follow. Then only you can do certain things, one after another.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
So object-oriented projects are not sequential, so you cannot apply that.
Okay. Got it.
Then once the product is developed and any failure occurs, cost of fixing them is very high. Okay, that's what I told you, right? You
Right.
can't go back.
Yes.
If you want
Yeah.
to do rework, the cost is very high. So this is not recommended. Okay. So
Okay.
what do we do in such cases? What other options we have? Let's look at another model called iterative. Okay.
Okay. So agile is kind of iterative model?
No, I'll take you to agile next. Okay, let's see iterative. Iterative
Okay.
is in between. Okay.
Different? Okay.
Yeah. Agile is the last one that we will see. Okay. Now in iterative development, there is some improvement here. If you see, right? It is still sequential, right? But then what happens is you don't do all at once. Okay, you do multiple times. You can do design, testing, and coding. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Actually, coding should come first, then testing. Don't worry about that. Okay. Now, here what is done is requirements will be done like waterfall model. You complete requirements first. So when you do design, the rest of the phases, design, development, and testing, you do it more than once.
Right.
Okay. The
Yeah.
reason is you split. Okay, I will do. If there are 20, 30 features, first 10 features I will do in build 1. Second features 11 to 20 I will do in build 2. Features 20 to 21 to 30 I will do in build 3.
Third.
Okay. But when you do the build 2, you will also do changes in build 1.
Okay.
So when you do build 3, you'll also do changes in build 2. Got it?
Right. Okay.
So you
Yeah.
don't need to wait until build 1, 2 and 3 are completed to do the changes. That is the advantage.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
you have repetition of design, development and testing. That is iterative. Okay?
Okay.
So when it is used, so when the requirements are defined, so requirements you are able to clearly define. But what happens is there could be some changes in the requirements. Major requirements are done, which means 80% of the requirements is done. 20% is still not done. Okay, which could evolve over time,
Right.
which means which could be defined later. In that case, you can use iterative. And project has a time to
Okay.
market constraint. The project says, okay, the customer will tell you, oh, don't give me all features. Okay, I have to release something first, and then we can keep changing.
Okay.
Okay. Say if you say the project is 3 months, they'll say, okay, first month I have to finish build 1, second month build 2, third month build 3. Why don't you do it like that? That is time to market.
Right. Okay.
Because I have to release something by end of this month because I have to, my competitor will be like the Walmart case, right? I have to release it sooner. Can you give me something sooner, quickly? I don't want to wait 3 months.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and then in some cases they use new technology, right? So development team is using some new technology and they need time to get trained or learn. So in that cases, what they will do is they will try doing build 1, right?
Okay.
Then they will improve in build 2, and then they'll be much better in build 3.
Oh, so okay. Now I remember. This was being told in QA class as well, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when they just do a few, like let's say out of 100,
Yes.
20 of the codes are tested once. So this is what it is, right?
Yes.
Iterative.
Yes.
model,
Yes.
and then defective and new, whatever
Yes.
has been implemented. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
got it.
Very
Okay.
similar to that. Okay. And
Okay.
then, in some cases, you may not have the required skill in your organization, so you have to use outsourcing. So you
Okay.
may say, build one, I will do it. Build two will be outsourced.
Okay.
Okay, that's also possible here.
Okay.
And build three, you may do it yourself or outsource.
Okay.
That is also possible. A combination is possible in this model.
Okay.
Okay. The final
Yeah.
point is project involves development of high risk features which may change in the future. So what they do is high risk features are done in build one.
Okay.
So when you define a feature, it is risky. If you say, while talking to stakeholders, they may say, okay, this is a risky feature,
Okay.
complex feature, risky. So, and we may change it uh, after you develop it first. If you get that hint from your stakeholders, then you can use iterative.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So advantages, as I said, you can deliver incrementally, build one, two, three. Defects are identified early in the cycle. Okay, first build itself you will test and say these are the problems, right?
Yeah.
You can manage risk. Less time on documenting, more time for designing. Okay.
Yeah.
Disadvantage, end of project may not be known. So I assumed it is three iteration. It could be more, four, five also it could
Right.
happen. So end date you don't know yet.
Right.
So there's no overlap. If you have design issues, okay, you may have design
Yeah.
issues because you said in one of the points, major requirements are defined, but some of them will change, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of the points. So if some requirements are changing, then there will be a design change.
Right.
If there is a design change, then you'll have a problem with this model, right?
Right.
So that's what they're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
When to use? Requirements of our system are clearly defined. Okay. And project
Yeah.
is large and mission critical. So waterfall for good for small. Uh, this is iterative is good for large projects which are mission critical. What is a mission critical project? I'll give you examples. Mission critical is some software that is used inside the aircraft or rocket.
Okay.
Those are all mission critical.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You cannot afford to fail.
Right. Right.
Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll move on to Agile now.
So for the job of BA,
Mm.
this iterative model, like how can we? So in my mind right now, that QA class is coming when we are
Mm.
doing this, right? When they explain you also if this many codes will be failed, then that we are going to test that again in the next model. So here we will be talking about the features.
Yeah, yeah, in your requirements, how your requirements is done. Okay, so if it is agile, if it is waterfall, you do your requirements all at once. If it is iterative, you do 80% of the requirements. That's your job, right? Got
Okay,
it. Where the so how the BA's role will fit into the model is important for you,
right.
right? If it is
Okay,
iterative, then you should be very sure that all major requirements have to be completed before you go into design. That's what you should have in
right.
your
Okay.
mind. Got it?
Yeah.
And that's how you should work. You should plan your work accordingly.
Okay.
Whereas with waterfall, you have to do almost all the entire requirements completely. major, minor, everything should be done first, and then only go to design. Got it? You understand the difference?
Yes. So when in this model we set requirements are given, like in the SDLC model, right? So we just wrote the business case, and now we just has a, like, we do have in general idea like what is going to happen, but details we are going to write in some another way. Will there be anything else, like any
Yes.
other
You have to understand elicitation. Only in elicitation you will write detailed requirements. We will come to that in the next session.
only? Okay.
Next class we'll talk about elicitation technique. Elicitation technique will tell you what technique to use to get detailed requirements.
Okay.
So even in elicitation, you will not get enough details. There is one more, after that, there is one more step called analysis and modeling.
Okay.
That is when you will get detailed requirements. For some.
So then these models will be more understandable. It will make more sense then.
Yes.
Okay.
No, even then.
Okay.
Yeah, even then, see, you will not get into design at all. Okay. So it is up to the point of how much detail you do. That's what is required for you as a BA. What is the model? How much detailed requirement should I do? If it is waterfall, you do detailed requirements. If it is iterative, you do detailed requirements for 80% of your major requirements.
Okay.
If it is agile, you will not do detailed requirements. You will always keep high level. Okay. You will do detailed requirements only during development.
Okay.
When the development starts, you will do detailed requirements, and that is agile. You understand the difference?
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So
Now I got it.
in waterfall and iterative, you will do detailed requirements during the BA requirements activity. So when it is your job to hand over the requirements to design, it should be detailed enough in waterfall and iterative. Whereas in agile, it will not be detailed; it will just be high level.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at agile. Agile is incremental software development. Okay. Very similar to iterative, but there is a change. Okay. It is time boxed approach. Okay. In agile, the difference is, see, all these waterfall and iterative, you did not know the end date.
Right.
Whereas in agile, you will know the end date. You will fix the end date first.
Okay.
And then it's collaborative, which means in waterfall and iterative, BA is not involved heavily after requirements phase.
Okay.
Whereas in agile, BA is involved completely until the product is delivered.
Okay.
Not only BA, everybody.
Right.
Agile, quick response to change and continuous development. So in waterfall, you cannot change. Change is very difficult. In iterative, you can do changes. You can do changes only after one iteration is complete. Right?
Okay. Yep.
Here, agile, you can make changes dynamically.
Right.
You understand the difference?
Yeah. It is done together, right?
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So once something is done side by side, something else is also going on.
Yes, you can.
Like, for example, testing requirement, right? Everything. Okay.
Yes, it will all be in parallel. Okay. Now, why agile? Incremental approach. So you can revisit every aspect of software development. That's what you're saying. Requirements, design, testing can be revisited anytime. Okay. Anytime you can change requirements. Anytime you can change design. Anytime you can do testing. Right. In fact, testing is done every day in agile. Okay.
Right.
And then stakeholders have recurring opportunities to calibrate release. So stakeholders can look at your software and give you feedback multiple times. Okay.
Yeah.
In waterfall and agile, they have to wait only. They can give feedback only after testing is complete.
Right.
Companies adopting build the right product instead of committing to a piece of that hasn't written yet. Yes. So if you are agile, you can say, I will release the software quickly. In waterfall and iterative, you cannot say that because you don't know the end.
Right.
So because of agile being able to release quickly, because you are deciding the end date, you are relevant to the market. You can stay in the market, right?
Mhm.
Like the Walmart example that I showed you, they have to do it in 4 to 6 weeks. Otherwise, they cannot be competitive.
Right.
Now, how it is different from waterfall model? So, waterfall model assumes that all requirements have to be identified before design, right? See, one
Right.
problem with waterfall is you identify all the requirements, okay, and you start your development. When you complete testing, your customer will come and say, "I don't need this requirement." Then your effort is waste,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
at the extreme case, sometimes they may say 90% of your software is waste. It is useless. You have to redo. Then all your 90% of your project is waste.
Right.
So because business changes so fast, your software development cannot take 6 months. That is the
Right.
that is the message from waterfall. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, what do you do in agile? You have something called Scrum. Okay.
Yeah.
So Scrum is a process which takes it is the what do you call it? It's a process to manage your agile projects. Okay. In
Right.
Scrum we have iterations called sprints. So each sprint is
Okay.
2 to 4 weeks long, which means your end date for the software that I told you time boxed approach. The time box is either 2 weeks or 4 weeks.
Right.
So you have to release the software in 2 or 4 weeks, not 6 months like waterfall,
Right.
or say 3 months like iteration, right?
Yeah.
So you talked about months in waterfall, and here you're talking weeks and days in Scrum. That's the advantage.
Right.
So in Scrum there are only three roles: product owner, team, and Scrum master. Okay, product owner is the
Okay.
one who is responsible for the product features. Okay,
Right.
and he will decide the priorities. The scrum master could be the facilitator. Okay,
Oh yeah.
and then scrum team is other people, your architects, programmers, analysts, everybody comes as scrum team. So only three roles. Now where do you think the BA
Okay.
will fit in scrum?
It will be a team member, I think.
Mm,
Product owner is the
yes.
person who will know
Now who?
everything
If BA is
about
team member, then who is product owner?
the person who will have,
Okay, well,
oh, it is going to be
I'll give you
BA.
an assignment. Okay, I'll give you the assignment. Okay, don't answer now.
Okay.
Go and read.
Okay.
Go and read from Google and tell
Okay.
me in an agile environment what are the roles that a BA could play. What are the
Okay.
different roles that a BA could play in a Scrum model or agile model. Okay,
O- Okay.
so that will be your homework.
Okay.
Let me do actually. One homework is this. Next, I will give you after I finish this. Okay.
Okay.
Next, so that is Scrum. So you decide the team and all those stuff. Then you have a daily Scrum
Okay.
meeting, which is called stand-up meeting. Okay. See, in
Okay.
waterfall and iterative, you have project status meeting, which will go on forever. Okay. Uh,
Mhm.
there is no time limit. There is no duration. There is no frequency. Whereas daily Scrum has to be done every day, and it is 15 minutes only,
Okay.
and it is held in the morning usually, so that you can all understand what we have to do and also give an update of what you
Right.
did on the previous day. This only
Okay.
everybody will speak only these three things in the meeting, not beyond that. What did you do yesterday? What are you going to do today? And are there any
Right.
issues? Are there any blocking issues for you? That's it.
Yeah.
We said Scrum has divides the project into sprints. Now, sprint is could be 1 or 2 weeks duration, and it's a repeatable work cycle. Okay, sprint will repeat. End of the sprint, you create a working version of the software. Remember.
Okay.
And in a release, you will have multiple sprints. So if you're going to give, say, 20, 30 features, it will have probably 5 or 6 sprints. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And so for sprint, you do have a planning meeting, okay, where
Okay.
you
Yeah.
plan what should go into the sprint. And the product owner has something called as a product backlog. So that is product backlog is nothing but your list of requirements. List of prioritized
Okay.
requirements in Agile is called as product backlog. Okay?
Okay.
And in Agile, you
Yeah.
call them user stories. You don't call them requirements.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? We talk about writing user stories at some point. Okay? Then, so there are two backlogs here. Backlog is like your master list. Okay? Now,
Okay.
sprint backlog is the list of features only for that sprint. Okay,
Okay.
you say your sprint duration is 1 or 2 weeks. From the product backlog, you have to choose what you want to do in that 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Your product backlog may have 50, 100 items, whereas your sprint you want only to do 5 items based on the estimate. Okay,
Okay.
so because your sprint is 2 weeks, you pick features which can fit into 2 weeks. That's it.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Some activity takes 2 weeks time. I can finish in 2 weeks time. Only those things you will pick for the sprint and do it.
Right.
Okay. So once the sprint is done, you do the review meeting. Okay.
Okay.
So at the end of the sprint, what you have to do, you get this. You get a coded, tested, usable piece of software. Remember.
Okay.
And here you have to show a demo of what you have done, what are the new features you have developed. Okay.
Okay.
And everybody will be there, the product owner, scrum team, scrum master, management, your customers and developers from other projects also will be there, just to learn
Okay.
what you have done, just to share your
Okay.
experience. It's like lessons learned for them. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you, during the review, you assess, you make an evaluation. Okay, at the beginning of the sprint, this was my goal. Have I accomplished that goal or not? Right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
your goal could be features, your goal could be quality. Okay. Tester might say,
Yeah.
okay, the features have been developed, but the sprint is not meeting the quality. Then you will not release it. You have to rework the sprint. Okay.
Okay.
But rework is easy because it's only five features, right? So 5 or 6
Right.
features, only small number of features. Rework is very easy. It is not like you have finished the
Okay.
entire project, right? You have finished one particular portion of the project.
Okay. So just for my understanding, let's say if Scrum has in total, we have 100 requirements, right?
Mhm.
So all
Not Scrum.
requirements we need.
Not Scrum. Your
Okay.
Scrum is your process. You can say
Scrum is.
product backlog.
Oh.
Okay, you can say
Oh, that's product
yeah,
backlog.
product backlog. This is what you should say.
Okay.
Product backlog has
Oh,
100
so
features. Okay. Yes.
so when you were saying Scrum
It's a
has,
process.
so Scrum decides how much time we have to do the particular thing, right? So let's say 4 weeks in total, we
Yes.
have to
Okay.
finish
Okay. Scrum is the
everything.
process. Okay. Scrum is your process. In Scrum, you
Okay.
have something called sprint. There are two things important to Scrum. One is your sprint and your daily Scrum meeting.
Okay. Okay.
So if you are following Scrum, you will have sprint and you will have daily Scrum
Okay.
meeting. That is all is the meaning of Scrum. And then you'll have these three
Okay.
roles. Got it?
Okay. 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 Okay.
So yeah, come back to your question. So product backlog has 100 features. Yes.
Right. So in sprint, they're just going to pick up few of them first. So let's
Yes.
say only 50, and
Not
they
even
will
50.
decide in
No
how
50.
much days.
No 50.
Okay.
You will pick only
Okay.
handful of them, 5 or 6.
In total, 5 or 6. Okay.
Yes. Maybe at most the number of features you can do in 1 or 2 weeks may not be more than 5 or 6. That's it.
Oh, so out of 100, only important ones will be done
Yes,
like
prioritize.
this?
See, you see prioritized,
Okay. Right.
top features.
Okay.
Because the backlog will contain um, requirements which are not priority also for the user, which are not required also.
So eventually, from 100 in total, approximately, how many of the features are sprint we pick up how many features in
Now,
real time when
okay, in
you do
real
that?
time, when I do it, so I say, I'll show you one, my project's user stories. Hold on. I'm just working on this project where we have, okay, so here, this is my product backlog, okay? Can you see this?
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Let me go here. This is my complete product backlog. Now I'm going to do only this. So I have everything. Okay. Um, I have so many things here around. I'll say blanks also. Some of it I have not prioritized. So I have about 33 different features here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So 33 features here, but I'm going to use. So I have prioritized my sprint only for this. So only
7.
7. That's it. This is my
Oh.
sprint. Got it?
Yeah.
So this is what I'll do in my sprint planning meeting.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is what I do here. Now your
Okay.
question is answered.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Now for doing that, I'm actually doing it with an outsourced team. So the outsourced team told me that for doing that they need 2 weeks or 1 week, whatever.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
time. So my time box is
Oh.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks we cannot do 33. So
Yeah.
that's how you prioritize and okay.
Yes, the 33 is not priority also for me. So they asked me what is the priority. My priority is this ones that I've highlighted in
Okay.
blue.
Right. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So that is real time example for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now sprint you conclude with sprint review meeting. Any other question?
No. Thank you.
Okay. So sprint review you decide. So once they finish, now we are in review actually for this. So we are reviewing whether all these features have been completed, whether it could be released in production. So we are
Okay.
actually having the review. We finished it on the testing stage. We have to review it on the production stage environment.
Okay.
That's where we are on this now.
Okay.
So, but I have a lot of features, so I'll have multiple sprints to do. All these things I should complete. You can see it's so many features, right? So everywhere
Right.
I'll have
Okay.
this. Everywhere I have to highlight and show them.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
whenever I put this, it becomes priority. This color.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Now, in reality, what happens is you need to understand this. In real world, Agile and Scrum may not be used just like that. So, what happens is they'll be using a mix of models. Okay.
Okay.
So they may say, okay, even this project, what I did was for requirements, I sat down and wrote most of it completely. Okay,
Okay.
which means for requirements I followed a waterfall model, but from design and implementation it is agile.
Okay.
So that's reality. So in the real world, you can have that you'll use a hybrid model.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
So instead of doing waterfall completely, I use waterfall for, because what I feel is generally for requirements, waterfall model is people wants to use because they know they can complete most of the requirements documentation.
Right.
So that is one way. So I'm not saying all companies will do that.
Okay.
Some companies who are so much used to waterfall, they don't want to come out of it, may want to use it.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
So and so you can see a hybrid happening in the industry, which is not
Right.
a problem, but which is good. Okay,
Right.
that's the message of this slide.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Any other question?
No. Thank you.
Okay. Now, hold on. Let me see if we have anything in the. Okay, some of the questions about waterfall is the waterfall model dead? Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So,
No, you
yeah,
were using
obviously it's
it.
not no because some of them are using it still.
Right.
It could be used, some portions of waterfall could be used, at least you can have a hybrid model, okay? But when it is one thing which where waterfall works very well is government projects, okay? See, if you go
Yeah.
to government projects, the requirements are well defined. You will not have changes.
Right.
So government has very well defined set of rules. Waterfall could work very well there,
Right.
right? And there are hard deadlines in government. So they'll say they'll give you an end date of next year, which is easy for you to work,
Right.
right? That is one thing. Second one is the importance. You should know the importance of your waterfall. So one thing is so if you don't use a model, right? If you don't use something like waterfall or agile, then tracking your project will be very difficult, right? You don't
Right.
know where you are. You don't know the status, right?
Right.
And then you also don't have a way of ensuring, okay, when do I take it to my customer? When do I show them? When do I validate if it is meeting their requirements? All these questions will become difficult for you.
Right.
Okay. Now, some of the
Yeah.
models we have seen is waterfall iterative. There is something called RUP also, which used very selectively. Okay, this is called
Yeah.
rational unified process. It is used by IBM. I'm not sure if it is being used now. It used to be very popular about 15 years ago.
Okay.
Okay,
So not
so
used now at all.
not used
RAD. Okay.
very rarely because unless they are, it's called RUP.
Okay.
RAD is rapid application development. It's a concept. Don't worry about that. It's not
Okay.
a model by itself.
Okay.
Whereas RUP is rational unified process.
Okay.
what I will want you to do is I will share the slides. You can read it and ask questions if you don't understand. Okay. It is
Okay.
just for your knowledge. You should read it. It is not being
Right.
used currently. The usage will be very less. But if you
Okay.
get into a company which is traditionally IBM, kind
Right.
of, they're using IBM practices, IBM software, then probably you
Right.
may find rough because they may be
Okay.
so used to it. In my entire career, I've used it only once.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now for your
Yes.
exercise, what do I want you to do is, so one exercise you already have, find out what is the role
Yeah.
of BA in a Scrum model or Agile model, right?
Yeah.
Agile Scrum model. Don't look at Agile itself because Agile has multiple models. Okay, we are just looking at Scrum.
Okay.
So look at specifically about how what role BA could play in a Scrum kind of environment, right?
Okay.
Second one could
Yeah.
be what will be the model you want to propose for your business case. Whether you want to propose
Okay.
waterfall, iterative, agile, or hybrid.
Okay.
Think about it and we'll discuss. These two answers we can discuss before we start illustration the next class.
Okay.
Okay? Any other question?
Yeah. Because no.
Okay. Thank you. Then
Yeah. Okay.
we then
Thank you so
we'll
much.
connect. We'll connect on
Monday?
Monday night. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Okay. Thanks. Bye.